Hey guys, thank you for joining us this afternoon. We have a lot of great content today regarding modernizing your ERP system by enhancing your payroll and HR functionality. So, my name is Jerica Holton. I'm a product marketing manager here at Greenshades. I've been a Greenie since May of 2022. I spent a lot of time learning our product, focusing a lot on payroll. And my background comes from retail management, so everything from building schedules to managing PTO and managing employees inside of a workforce system that then led me to roll out a new HCM system at my previous company. So I'm training everybody on how to use the system, how to build schedules, how to forecast labor and everything. Then next, I spent some time in technology sales. So that's a little bit about me. I'm going to pass it over to Jonathan.
Yeah, thanks, Jerica. And clearly, I have to update my profile picture first and foremost. A little outdated there, but I am Jonathan Stone. I'm a payroll and HRIS account executive with Greenshades, and I as well am a very proud Greenie since 2022. And what I do is I'm the expert in helping our clients and prospects transition their payroll to the cloud solution, to a cloud-based solution and everything. And I come from over 8 years of industry experience helping payroll and HR professionals find the right technology fit for their individual needs. So thanks for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Jonathan, for that. So we're just going to give a brief overview of what this presentation will cover. So we're going to be talking about some of the pros and cons of having your payroll software inside your ERP system. So some of the pros may be, hey, if it's not broke, why fix it? You may have been using GP for all these years. It's been working fine for you. So what's the point of evaluating a new system? It doesn't cost us anything. Running payroll inside GP is free. So you may ask, why add on the extra cost to run it with an outside provider if I can get it inside the GP system? We don't have the bandwidth to implement or retrain our staff. The process of implementing payroll can seem like a very expensive process. It can seem like a heavy lift, but depending on who you implement with, like somebody with green shades, it's actually not a bad process. You get an implementation specialist and it's cost friendly. And then we don't plan on migrating our ERP system anytime soon. If you're running your payroll and all your operations inside GP, and like I said before, if it's broke, why if it's not broke, why fix it? Then you're probably planning on staying with your ERP system for a long time. So you see no reason to move your payroll operations outside of it. So then we'll get into some of the cons. So we'll talk a little bit about how the future of on-premise software, some of its limitations, especially as we move into more of a cloud-based future for technology. What will GP look like 10 years from now? Although it seems free, there's a lot of soft costs that comes with running your payroll inside your ERP systems, whether it's the process isn't as effective, isn't as fluent or seamless, or just the cost to train your staff to do manual updates or upkeep on-premise software. And then next, we'll talk about what happens when you're forced to learn a new system. So in the future, if you do want to move to the cloud, will you be moving all your operations at once? Or if you already have your payroll moved, can you just focus on your ERP system and maybe ease that burden in the future?
Yeah, so Jerica, I just wanted to add to that on the previous slide. Just so it really becomes more of a question of not if, but when, right? Like, so, when is the right time to move your payroll to the cloud? What time is right for you? I mean, there's a lot of talk. I've heard a lot of talk, as you probably have heard a lot of, thoughts, rumors, or whatever out there about GP eventually going away, or not being supported or updated anymore, and anything like that. I'll be the first to tell you that it's not going away for the foreseeable future. It's just more so that there's going to be less, like fewer and fewer updates and new rollouts of new functionality and things like that. So it's nothing to be concerned about as far as the urgency of making a change now, but something to consider is why not start the evaluation process now to get ahead of it rather than having to be reactive when something forces the need to move, right? And also, Jerica, to your point about GP is free. That's a definite benefit, but
Mhm.
it is, again, like to your point, it's often very tough to quantify all those hidden costs or those soft costs,
Mhm.
and how much time is really wasted, with those manual processes and workarounds that would go away with a cloud-based, more automated process. So that's all I wanted to add to that.
Awesome. Thank you for those points, Jonathan. I think you bring up some excellent points about just kind of those soft costs that comes along with running your payroll inside your ERP system, especially if it's an older system that's on premise. It can be very timely, a lot of manual workarounds, and then any errors that are like inside your payroll software, whether that's payroll taxes or you come to year and form time, can also be costly. And then looking at these larger providers, implementation seems like such a lift, and then some of them are extremely expensive. Good thing about Greenshades, we're not the implementation specialist in the in-house functionality. Just it gives you a lot more freedom and flexibility, so the lift isn't as bad. So now let's get to know Greenshades a little bit. So we're a company built on tax and compliance. So for over 20 years, we've been supporting Microsoft Dynamics products with our tax and compliance software. Then we grew to support them in payroll, HR, benefits, and tax. So what makes us stand apart? We're the technology that best supports you. So being that in-house provider that I kind of alluded to earlier, you have that freedom of functionality to run your payroll operations as you see fit for your business. Working with Microsoft Dynamics, we have great expertise inside the software, and we also help businesses across a wide variety of industries. And so we're able to accommodate a lot of unique situations. We enhance the systems critical to your business. So if you're using your Dynamics ERP system, or eventually you decide to move to a cloud-based system, we can integrate with you to help enhance those systems. So payroll information, HR information, tax information can flow seamlessly through the systems with our open API. Say goodbye to compliance headaches. So, like I said, 20 years built on tax and compliance. We are tax experts. We're able to help you with quarterly filing, year-end filing, payroll taxes, and then even some of those complex payroll compliance scenarios, such as overtime compliance, garnishments, minimum wage compliance. We're able to help you automatically adhere to. And then you matter to us. We make it our mission to provide that true one-on-one support. So if you're calling for help with taxes, your payroll software, anything, you know that you'll get a real person that's there to support you. All right, awesome. So we're going to roll into what Greenshades has to offer as a full all-in-one platform. So we offer payroll, human resources, benefits management, tax and compliance, and time and labor management. You may be using us for one of our solutions, so maybe you file your forms with us. Maybe you utilize us for HR. But believe it or not, our systems they actually work best together. When you're using our systems together, it just allows information to flow freely between each system. So you're not going back and forth between your GP payroll back to Greenshades, back to GP. All right, now we're going to pass it over to Jonathan to talk a little bit about modernizing your payroll solution.
Yeah, thanks, Jerica. So really, I wanted to touch on, how could a more flexible and configurable solution help your business? So the question becomes on-prem versus cloud-based platform, right? So number one, the increased security that you would get from moving to the cloud, is that layered or that redundant security to protect your employees' data, and to when by the domino effect, we simply just mean, like, what could happen if, just in case anything, like you had a breach, like a security breach or anything like that. That's one example of what some of the things that you don't really need to worry about, because of all of your sensitive employee data is stored in the cloud. So that's like one benefit. Um, Another is just it's configured to your organization. So it's a really easy implementation and setup. And again, it can be configured to your specific business needs, rather than you being limited by a more, just sort of a on-prem solution. And it's, as far as a little bit more rigid, right? So another benefit, of course, of the cloud is you can access it anytime, at anywhere really. So you can run payroll anywhere that you are at any time. Give your employees 24/7 access. It's really just to empower them and help them, save time. And on the flip side, help your team, all of your admins save time, because by empowering your employees, it really allows them to do more on their own without having to come to you for questions about everything. So and also just updating your software with ease. It's just a modern technology structure versus that on-prem rigid type of structure. And so the updates are, to the system are seamless, and they're pushed out automatically and continuously. We're always developing, looking for better ways of doing things. You're getting feedback from our clients of what they'd like to see done better or additional functionality, that sort of thing. Those are automatically updated and pushed out. So you don't need to go looking for those updates.
Awesome, Jonathan. I think you brought up some great points, especially as we think about those soft costs, right? So the software that being intuitive is easy to learn, easy to train new employees on. So you're not spending all that time doing all these manual workarounds, all these extra pop-up windows, all this extra time that you're spending during the payroll process. It's just very intuitive and seamless, just having it all in one workflow. And then giving employees that access. Imagine how much time your HR team spends chasing down inquiries, taking phone calls from employees. Can you track down my pay stub from 5 years ago? Just spending a lot of time doing this when employees can have this access in any device from their employee portal. So I just think you bring up some great points as we think about those soft costs.
Exactly. Great point. Yep. So this really, we just wanted to show you a very high level video of what the platform looks like. This is showing you right now. What you see here is the payroll dashboard. And so our system is built to be, that tax and compliance engine working behind the scenes, always looking for any kind of errors or alerts or anything like that you need to be aware of in the system. So again, to save time, you don't need to stay on top of compliance, because we do that for you. The system automatically looks for all of any kind of compliance changes or anything like that, to avoid you having to basically go out and research all the latest laws, rules, everything that around compliance, taxes, all of that, things of that nature. And what you're seeing here now is just a simple, like step-by-step wizard of what the payroll process looks like. And it's just because it is cloud-based, it is very intuitive, and everything can be done in real time, and you can even make any changes on the fly. All these fields that you see here are dynamic, so you can make just easy like updates or changes as you go. So really just, it's again, just that built-in compliance and, tax engine all working behind the scenes, so you don't need to be, concerned about looking for those. So, and then at the end of the process, this is actually the final step, is once you click submit, then that brings up the payroll workflow or checklist. And so basically that last step of the process is, it will, as part of that workflow, it will automatically sync your data down to your ERP, mapping it accurately to your GL. So anything you wanted to add to that, Sharika?
I mean, I just love how intuitive the workflow is. It's easy to use. If you have new hires coming in who have to learn the software, it's easy to train on, and it's easy to configure, right? As we kind of talked about before, the workarounds. If you need to do one process, you might have all these workarounds you need to train new associates on, or you're taking time doing. Where in our system, it's just easy to set up and easy to work.
So these points right here, these are kind of some main points we put together as far as like what the modern payroll functionality looks like. This first point, as far as processing flexibility, just simply like we alluded to this before, but just processing your payroll give you more flexibility. So you can run payroll on your terms, on your schedule. We don't have any deadlines per se because it is your in-house solution to manage, as you wish. So you can run unlimited pay runs, even like mid-cycle or off-cycle pay runs at any time. We don't charge for any of those additional pay runs. And also, like I mentioned before on the previous slide, you can make a lot of those changes that you need to in real time. So another point that Jerica touched on before is as far as an open API. So we can connect to any system that you use to support your business. So when you consider, your costs involved in a third party to enhance your ERP functionality and to, like I said before, some of those things that are maybe not being rolled out today as much by GP, the cost involved and the time involved really in adding, additional functionality to your ERP and making those integrations and everything like that. We have an open API and can do that very seamlessly. So as far as complex payroll, that's really what we specialize in. So you can set your really unlimited pay codes to help you further define how payroll should be calculated for you and your business. And for example, some of the examples really are just some of maybe complex shift differentials, blended overtime, multiple locations, employees working in multiple locations or even in multiple departments, and just really, some of those complicated tax requirements and withholdings that you might have to deal with. We can handle all of that for you. So, and as far as control access, with we can set up as many workspaces. If you have multiple companies, multiple entities, we can set up as many workspaces as you need to process payroll out of those individual workspaces. So, and also we can limit, or really we have unlimited admin access, but you can also determine who gets to see what information, right? So like, different sets of payroll and HR data, you can set who has, the ability to see and work within those different data sets. So, and then lastly, the employee engagement. So, you can pay your employees however you like, whether it be direct deposit, paper checks, or even like a pay card. If they don't have a bank account, if you have employees that don't even have a bank account, we can help with those needs and just give your employees more access to the system, and again, just empowering them to do more on their own to save you time for them coming to you for everything, really. So.
And Jonathan, I just wanted to add to that. I think you highlighted a lot of good points that makes Greenshades stand out amongst the competitors. The biggest one being that control of your cash flow, right? Moving to the cloud seems like it could be a costly move, and a lot of competitors make you pre-fund a payroll tax account. And with Greenshades, you can keep control of that cash flow until the payroll taxes are due. So unexpected circumstances comes up or anything, you have access to your cash. And then I just love the point about the complex payroll. That is somewhere where we really shine and just automating that process for you, right? So none of the workarounds, none of the windows popping up, is just all automatically calculated, and you can just have a quick overview of it all.
So now I wanted to get into a little bit of the compliance benefits. So really, if staying up to date on compliance is an issue for your organization, we can definitely help save you a lot of time in that compliance, because again, we're constantly, the system, Greenshades knows all the tax and compliance, HR compliance issues and everything like that. So we bring all of that to your attention. You don't need to go looking for all those new laws and regulations and everything involved in compliance. So this is getting a little bit deeper into the compliance aspects of what we can help you with is just automatic updates based on on any new tax policies. Again, we're constantly looking for those and updating the system and making you aware of those rather than you having to go out and get those on your own. Also enhanced compliance capabilities, just basically your payroll, your record keeping, that real-time reporting in the cloud. We have a very robust reporting module that's built into our payroll platform, so that you can store all of the, you can actually take any of those kind of canned or generic reports that we actually build the system. Your system would come with day one, and you can take our ad hoc report builder and customize those to however it best fits your business needs. And then that you can just process all of your reporting out of Greenshades, because that's what would become your system of record or your source of truth really for all of your reporting needs. Federal, state, and local withholdings, we've got that all covered for you. Overtime compliance, minimum wage compliance, and a whole lot more really. So really bottom line is because we know all of this, all the compliance rules and everything like that, it's really our job to inform you of all of those things so that you can adhere to all the federal, state, and withholdings, all those rules based on your employee work location and so on. So, and then when it comes to year-end reporting compliance, a lot of you are already familiar with Greenshades for handling like your taxes, your year-end forms, maybe like employee access, maybe time entry, all those functions. And first of all, we really appreciate all of the business that you give us as far as those specific things that we handle for you today. But what would happen is when you actually go with the Greenshades platform, all those different functions or services roll up into the platform. So it takes some of those sort of a la carte functions and features and basically just combines them into our unified end-to-end solution, so that you can even further streamline the whole process through the platform. So everything that we're doing for you today would still we would still handle those for you, but even more seamlessly through the platform. So for example, the tax filing center, that would work seamlessly and more efficiently actually through the Greenshades platform. And then when it comes to actually running payroll, when you complete the payroll, the platform immediately recognizes those taxes that need to be filed and remitted, and the process flows just naturally because we have a payroll tax service module built into the payroll platform. So it's really kind of just a sort of a tax to-do list. So that kind of keeps everything, all in one place for you to go and manage all of that. And again, you don't need to worry about all the due dates of when the taxes are due, your filings are due or anything like that. The system automatically knows those due dates. So, and also just eliminate all the back and forth between Greenshades and GP while processing your taxes. It all is stored within the Greenshades system. So that's a major time and headache savings to you. So
now we're going to think about growing and scaling your payroll for the future. So we fast forward 5 years into the future, maybe 10 years into the future. What software do you see yourself utilizing, right? Will you still be on premise, or will you have wanted to migrate to the cloud? So currently, we support over 2,000 GP clients. This is with payroll tax filing, year-end forms filing, our payroll module, and a full HRS suite. So this includes anything from certification and license management, housing your HR information inside the cloud so you can stay compliant with just any regulations about how long you should hold employee information, the onboarding process, and through our partnerships, performance management, and LMS. We also have a full time and labor management module, a benefits module, and support for multi companies. So, again, as you think about your company in the future, will you be growing? Will you need to support multiple workspace IDs? If you do, you don't have to worry about doing the workarounds in GP that you may currently have to do. In Greenshades, we can keep it all separate for you. So as we look to the future, Greenshades is a payroll provider that grows with you. You can grow and scale your business with us. We have no plans of going anywhere anytime soon. So as Jonathan kind of alluded to earlier in the presentation, with payroll software inside your GP system, we don't know the future of GP. Looking at the modern life policy, we know they start to phase out some of those text updates, bug fixes, and customer support. GP isn't going away, but of course, some of that stuff will slow down. But at Greenshades, this is what we do. Payroll, HR, and tax is at the base of what we do. So we will continuously do updates, advance our system, and try to stay ahead of the trends for HR trends or even just tax updates. And then by 2025, more than 95% of digital workloads will be deployed in the cloud. So even if you're not thinking about moving now, as you look into the future, will it make sense for your business to move with the times, to move to a cloud-based provider? And if you do, with Greenshades, we're ERP agnostic. So we can match with any system that you choose, whether it's an accounting system, timekeeping system, or ERP system. And then again, as you look into the future, ease your burden of moving your operations, right? If you choose to move to the cloud, payroll can be a great place to go ahead and start. And then later, if you choose to move your other business operations to the cloud, at least you're not moving everything at one time. And so from this presentation, we can take away three main points. With Greenshades, you get a modern solution. Like we said, GP isn't going anywhere anytime soon. But with a cloud-based solution, you do get that automation. You get that simple workflow. You get a smart payroll wizard that does those automatic calculations for you. You set it up in the back end, and your payroll process is seamless. You can run payroll from start to finish in literally a matter of minutes. And then the automatic compliance. So automatically stay ahead of the curve when it comes to compliance. During your payroll process, you'll automatically adhere to those rules based off of where your employee's work location is. So you're not going back and having to edit things or having to worry about if your payroll is going to be accurate by the time you submit it. And then once year-end forms comes around, you know that your payroll has been accurate all year. So your file forming should be easy. And for those quarterly reports or any payroll tax reports, it should be seamless because we're automatically withholding that and keeping account of it during the payroll process. And then the last point is growing and scaling for the future. The question really isn't if you'll ever move to the cloud, it's more so when. As we get into the future, most workloads will be deployed in the cloud-based software. It just allows for that flexibility and allows information to flow from system to system. So will it make sense to go ahead and have your payroll operations moved? Or would you need to move it all at once and have the heavy burden in the future? Jonathan, was there anything that you wanted to add to these final 3 points?
No, those are all great. And I wanted to before we have to wrap up, I wanted to get to the fun stuff at the end that you have to share, right?
Yes, we love to save the best for the end. So let's get to the fun stuff. So if you're curious of how Greenshades can help modernize your ERP system, save 20% when you give Greenshades Payroll a try.